I started the Abundance Power and Purpose program as a way of really entering into the mystery of what it is that's in our hearts and wanting to come through, and swapping around where normally in life what we're trying to do is we're trying to work from the physical, we're trying to work from what it is that we know, we're setting goals and outcomes and then working, doing the steps that we need to take to get to that outcome. Well, we're already connected in our hearts, in our being, both to what it is that we really care about, but also to all other beings. And so the Abundance Power and Purpose program is a way of us really connecting in to our hearts and to what it is that we have love and joy for. And from that, all the rest of the wobbles kind of dissipate. It's like when we are moving from that knowing, then the rest doesn't have the same power over us that it did in the past. So what happens is that we start to align with what it is that we are in true resonance with, what it is that we really care about the most. And miracles start happening because life starts co-creating with us. And the most magical events start happening. People start showing up. And all we're doing is setting intentions that are in alignment with our heart. But people around us can feel the resonance and they want to be a part of that. And as I said, miracles just start to happen. So it's the most fun program that I've ever created. It's the most simple. It's the most joyful, the most easeful. It's like, it's so funny when someone says to me, you know, what is this program? And it's so hard to put words on because we're so used to working from the known to create more of the known, another version of the known. Yeah. And it's like, that's not what we're doing here. We're actually, firstly, we're moving from that our heart already knows, that our heart is already connected to everything and to all, and that our heart already knows. Even if our mind doesn't know, our heart knows. And so then the more and more and more we attune into that, the more true we can feel when we're right in that sweet spot of creation. Even when our mind isn't in that, doesn't know what's going on, but still we're in this sweet spot of creation, and creation is then happening through us.
It probably summarises the magic and the uniqueness of this program. The unknown. And what magic comes out of not forcing and not predetermining any aspect of it. And because there's 6 of us in this group, we all bring our unique perspective into that space that we jointly have created. Instead of the light coming on, it's like my heart opens up in a way it's never done before. It was this sense of, oh my goodness, I don't ever recall in my life being with a group of people and just feeling this overwhelming flood of love come towards me and with all of you. But that's the magic of this program, where we came together without an agenda, but with an overwhelming sense of trust and holding the space for each other. I'm becoming more the person that I would like myself and everyone else to be. It really is so precious, so unique.
To me, I love being in the magic of life and having a clear intent or purpose, and being a witness to how that unfolds and manifests. That's what I absolutely love. And that I find that so enriching in this group, because there is it's like there's an acceptance of that, and that is it, without saying, oh yeah, but that's not real, you've got to do this and you've got to do that.
Back to the physical
Back
world.
to the physical world. So playing with the physics of that as well, yes, is fun. And being able to see something unfold and have the physics knowledge and experience of that, so that the mind can actually accept another perspective, another way, and basically say, well, that's how it's done in this reality, and this is, if you like, the quantum physics way and the magic of that physical reality too, bringing that into taking it from the university level physics into real life, and understanding and seeing how that unfolds and manifests and creates.
Applying it.
Applying it. And being a part of that flow, being a part of the magic. Yeah, without the forcing. Playing with the forces of creation. And not forcing.
Well, my intention was to be able to see and hear and think and speak with love to myself as well as everybody else, and that I would take that into my life, and just be the love that I am in my day-to-day living. And I really feel that I am that now, that I am living that, and I've had a few challenges come up to test that. And I've gained more understanding of myself, more love for myself, and more respect and honouring others and their choices. I don't have to agree with them, but I do need to respect and honour them and not sit in judgment anymore. It's a great freedom to not be sitting in judgment anymore.
It's not just as if this is the first time in my life I've thought, I've got to be loving and kind to people, but it's a narrative that I told myself that I had to do, and whereas now I don't have to do anything, I just am. I've just embodied this way of feeling and being.
Yeah.
And that's played out in really wonderful ways in the last 4 months. Every time I leave the course and I continue to grow, and as I continue to feel more expansive myself in my heart, then everything around me is sort of magically responding that way. And I don't have to do anything, I just have to be there and show up like this.
Yeah.
I'm just hearing this deep level of trust that, I don't know, that you're in alignment, that there's support, that that everything's fine.
Yes.
And that you're safe. It's not just safe, it's beyond safe. It's like that there's everything around you that you need, and it's just moving in that deep level of trust.
And it's almost like, in some ways, it's like a conversational meditation. It's like, because for me anyway, there's that sense of being really here and being able to speak and share and listen from that place, and in that experiencing, it cannot help but develop more of a sense of being that in my life, helping to overcome that age-old story of not enoughness. And it's lived through the experience of showing up each month going, oh, I'm enough here, right now.
Yes.
But the magic for me is that I just feel like I'm overflowing with love, and the only thing I can do with it is to give it to people around me. And so my world's become kind of magical. It's like, whoa, I've got all this love, what am I going to do with it now? That's how it feels. And every time we come back to this group, it just gets like, more and more powerful. Yeah. It's like, let's go on this ride with Shari. I don't know where it's going, but I'm on board. And I love that you didn't know where it was going either. That was the whole point. It's the whole point of it. The unknowable. It's the unknowable.
What I loved about this program was, well, I wanted to know more about that. I wanted to feel more at peace within my body and more out of my beliefs and patterning. So I just needed something to really touch my soul and open my heart and have a bit of science thrown in there to help me make sense of neural pathways. And yeah, it was the combination of everybody here it's just been amazing what it's opened up.
It's actually created a space where we've guided ourselves because of the space that's been held and the trust.
That there's something magical about who has come together and the dynamics of who has come together and the gift of each person to each other as well.
There's something in it that I knew that that would be really powerful for me to do right now at this point in my life. And it has been like that. It just came at the right time. And the word power in the title, it's about me being more in alignment with who I am and presence. It's the more that I'm in presence in each moment to what is happening in life and in full acceptance of what is happening, that's where my power comes from. It's where the fear, there's no place for fear there as well. We meet every 6 weeks. So every 6 weeks it's like another dose of those ideas and having a day of just immersing in hearing each other and hearing ideas that don't come to my mind, but I'm hearing from you guys. And then that's in my mind over the next few weeks and I'm applying it to the events that are happening to me. This is what I can trust to not have those fears and to keep working towards being more confident and being more of who I am.
What I really love is that it brings all of that. It brings all of the trust and the presence and the inner awareness of who we are. But then that moves into the outer world. It's not just the inner world, it's the outer world as well. And same with you, Virginia, with what's happened with you. You know, in the past, you'd be someone who would like to have your ducks in a row before you take action. You know,
Absolutely.
yeah. And looking at what you've done with the house and buying another house before you've sold the other houses and really going with that trust in life. There's a different thing showing up on the outside.
It's like, oh no, I can actually be courageous. And maybe it's courage because that's come to me because, you know, my life experience, the ways we are rewarded in society is not to do anything that this program is about. Just show up and see what happens. And commit quite a lot of time to come into state for many of us regularly and put our life on hold and just show up. I mean, when I think about it now, it's actually quite courageous in itself to commit to it. And so as I become more trusting, I think that's changed the way I show up with everyone else. And it's only because I've shifted that way of operating, become courageous and just shown up as this person overflowing with love somehow.
Daring to be vulnerable, really, rather than courage.
Mm-hmm.
It's daring to be vulnerable to allow me, to allow me to be open and vulnerability and be okay with that. Be okay with however I'm experiencing that vulnerability. To being present with myself in that. Yeah. And that takes a degree of trust to do that, you know, because I know it's just not vulnerability in the group here, but that taking that away and being vulnerable out there with others that I would not have dare expose my vulnerability to. Right. So for me, I guess that's one of the greatest gifts.
It's hard for me to say where I was before I started, but I think if there's something that's continued to manifest over the course of this program, has been that inner confidence and trust that comes with knowing that I am more following my heart, that this experience of being in the group is contributing to me standing in what I love and what's important to me.
Through just being with all of you and listening to different ways of exploring things and different ways of thinking, and really putting it into practice and doing the work on myself, I grew to really love myself, and now I'm just really keen to see what's next. Yeah, it's really lovely.
Every 6 weeks we get together in person for a day, and then in between that we get together every 2 weeks by Zoom. And so we have little mini sessions for 2 hours so that we're really kept in this energy and kept in the continuity of this energy. And the program goes for about 6 months. So if this sounds like it's something that is calling you, I hope to see you at the next program that we're putting together. It's a maximum of 12 people in a group. It'll be fun to see you there.